Has your relationship come to an end, but you're still there and you have difficulty extricating yourself or moving on? Or the other person doesn't want you to move on because they're having difficulty extricating themselves and not letting you move on? It is one of the toughest places to be, isn't it? When you're in a relationship and the relationship is over, the damage has already been done and it's irreparable. There's nothing you can do to fix it or the other person can fix it. Something inside of you has shut off. There's no more emotion to give. And the only emotion left is one of futility or fear that you're stuck and you can't get out. You always have a choice. That's what I'm here to tell you today. There's always a choice. The moment you think or believe that you don't have a choice is the moment when all hope is gone. But you always have choices. How do you move on? Today I'm going to talk about how to move on. Relationships are one of the things that define us. Relationships are something that are unavoidable if you want to have any semblance of, living in this world. Every day we are involved in some aspect of a relationship, whether it's with our family members, children, significant others, work, employees, employers. Relationships are the fabric of society, and relationships can affect us positively or negatively. But why are you still here? Why are you still at the place where you know you need to move on from? I know you want to know the answer to that question, and I hope that I can provide it. I think that you're where you are because you haven't done the process of letting go. You haven't processed yourself. You haven't looked at your situation and realized, you know what? What's the truth? The truth here is that this has to end. The truth is that I've held on longer than I was supposed to. And understand this, that the longer you hold on to something, and the longer that something is detrimental to your well-being, if you don't make the choice to let it go, the universe will make that choice for you. And the way the universe tends to handle these things is it's always more painful than if you choose to let it go yourself. Trust me, I know I've been there, done that. It is very difficult to say that something is over and face the failure of a relationship or the failure that you feel within yourself, the guilt of feeling that, you could have done better, you should have done better, or not knowing what you could have done better or should have done better. But regardless of how you feel right now, the truth of the matter is, it's time to go. How do you go? How do you go? How do you get out of something when there's other complications? Maybe you're going to need a divorce. Maybe you're going to have to settle some other things that are between you, like, you're not married, but you have commitments together. There's a lot of other things that could interrupt the process of just separating from the relationship. But what I suggest is, if you can't get out of the relationship, at least you can tell yourself the truth. The truth is that I am moving on. The truth is that I have moved on. Facing the truth is the first aspect of moving on. And not only acknowledging the truth to yourself, but eventually having to tell the other person the truth. That's the hardest part. But the first part is you telling yourself the truth. If the relationship is truly over, then there's only one recourse. You have to go. If children are involved, you need to go. Because children are always the casualty of a broken relationship. And if you love your children, truly love them, both of you or one of you, you will recognize that your children become the most important factor in this breakup or this separation. The second thing is, once you've told yourself the truth, you need to accept that truth. You need to accept that this is it. I'm not lying to myself. I've told myself the truth and I've accepted that. Now what's the next step? The next step is that you have to make a choice. You have to decide how, where, when, how you're going to move on. And once you've established that, then it should come with a sense of peace. The things that have caused me the most angst in my life have been when I have not been able to make a decision. It's not the process of going through the decision making. It's actually coming up with the actual, this is what has to be done, and there's no ends or buts about it. It has to be done. Once you make the decision to do something, then you have to perform the action. It's a typical decision making process, and it's no different within a relationship. It seems kind of cut and dry, and we both know it's not. We both understand that what's involved in here are other people's emotions and not just your own. What's involved here is you walking away from maybe a life of where you built a future and you thought that future was secure, and having to walk away and leave that life behind to start a new life. The fear of moving on can be crippling. The fear of leaving things behind that you feel you have a right to can be crippling. But there's an even greater fear to face. The fear of leaving yourself behind and not finding yourself again. The fear of losing your greatest asset, which is you, is at risk here. You need to move on. There are people who get into relationships where they spend a lot of time trying to save the other person. If you're not that person, good. But if you are, you can only save yourself. You can do everything within your power to help the other person. But if the other person does not want to help themselves, there's nothing you can do. It's something that all therapists know, all life coaches know, and this is the truth. I can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves, and neither can you. What you have done is to sacrifice the best parts of you in trying to bring somebody up from the gutter or trying to bring them up to the level where you're at. What happens when you attempt to do it that way is a lot of times you find yourself falling to their level and meeting them there instead of them rising to your level and meeting you where you're at. Relationships are complicated. Love is complicated, but it doesn't have to be complicated. The moment that the relationship is not reciprocal, the moment the person is not meeting you halfway, the moment the person is not rising to the level that you, or a medium that you both have set, and you're surpassing that person and you're growing, there's always going to be an issue. And the issue will always cause problems in your relationship. If it's not reciprocal, if it's not equitable, if you both are not equally putting into the relationship. And I say this all the time, if somebody is giving you 90%, you meet them there. If somebody's giving you 20%, I don't think you should be giving them 100%, because what will happen is you will always feel resentful, always feel like you're being taken advantage of, or that you're not loved as much as you're given the love that you're given. It's time to move on. Accept the truth. Hold on to that truth. Let that truth motivate you. Let the love that is instilled in you guide you and remove you from this situation where you can ultimately suffer yourself and lose yourself. Your love for yourself doesn't have to die. And if you feel like it's dead, it can be revived. You have the ability to revive it. You have to be strong, most of all. You have to find the strength within to rise up and do what is right. If not for yourself, maybe for both of you. All relationships don't end easy. People have emotions. You can't control the other person's emotions, and you can't control their reaction or how they choose to deal with the whole aspect of the relationship. You just can't control that. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge and let them go through it. But what you cannot do is let that influence your decision to move on. Then maybe there's something out there for you. Maybe when you got into this relationship, you weren't as great a person as you should have been. Maybe now is the time for you to continue your journey. Maybe it's time for you to discover truly what love is, because love always starts with you, the individual. Like I said, relationships are really difficult. And what complicates relationships is if you do not know who you are, and more importantly, if you lose sight of who you are. If that's the case with you, make a choice today. Recognize the truth. The truth is that the relationship is over. And as much as you did not want to face that truth, as much as you denied that truth, it's here. It was inevitable. The truth always catches up with you. What do they say? What is hidden in the dark shall come to light. And today is the dawn of a new day, a dawn of a day where you can be liberated, where you can truly be set free from your own personal demons and from the demons of someone else who's trying to limit your growth and your potential. Choose to move forward. Acknowledge the truth. Make a choice to move forward. Be strong. You are strong. Maybe you forgot how strong you were. Maybe you forgot that you have the ability because you carry someone else for so long that you forgot that that strength is still innate, is still a part of who you are. Whatever it takes, whatever you need, you have it within yourself. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Isn't that what they say? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Choose yourself this day. Choose to love unconditionally. Love that brings you reciprocity. Love that is equal to your love. You don't have to stay. And guess what? It's not as difficult as you think it is. The hardest part is recognizing your truth. My name is Ingrid Felton. I hope that this brought you some comfort and that it was able to help you in some way. I know how difficult relationships are. I understand that giving up on something that you believed 100% in is not the best or the easiest decision to make. But the only choice that matters here is the choice to save something greater. You are worth loving, and it's waiting for you somewhere else, even if it's in yourself. Please visit my website, thejourneyoftruth.com, if you want to find out more information about me, or if you want to know more about what I have to offer and the tools that I provide. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe, like it, tell your friends about it, share it. Sharing is caring. And I'll see you the next time. Bye.